Good morning, students. Today we will discuss about judiciary that has not been discussed in our previous videos. In our previous videos, we have discussed about union executive and legislature, and we have also seen the process of lawmaking in reference of ordinary bill, both in ordinary bill and money bill. So now we will discuss about the third organ, and the very most important organ is that is judiciary. When we read newspaper of any day and listen the news at any news channel, we can have a glimpse of works done by courts in our country. But can you tell me why do we need these courts? As we know that in India we have the concept of rule of law. This means that laws apply equally to all persons and that a certain set of fixed procedures need to be followed when a law is violated. For example, if a crime is made by common people and the same crime is made by a wealthy people or a minister, then the same procedure of sentence will be followed. This is rule of law. And in India, it is considered that the concept of rule of law was introduced by Britishers. As I have told you, rule of law means that laws apply equally to all persons and that a certain set of fixed procedure need to be followed. When a law is violated, to enforce this rule of law, we have a judicial system that consists the mechanism of court that a citizen can approach when a law is violated. Judiciary plays a crucial role in the functions of India's democracy. It can play its role only because it is independent. So at first we will see why do we need judiciary? Because in India we have rule of law. As I have told you, what is the meaning of rule of law? Same laws are applied to all people. Somewhere we can say to enforce the laws, judiciary is in existence. But judiciary can play this crucial role because it is independent. In India we have independent judiciary. How can we say we have independent judiciary? The first concept is related to separation of power. Like as I have told you, we have three organs in government: legislature, executive, and judiciary. All these three organs enjoy different powers. When we discuss the concept of separation of power, we can say when we discuss the concept of separation of power, we can say this concept was first discussed by Montesquieu in his book The Spirit of Laws at the time of French Revolution. But USA was the first country who adopted this concept, and we followed the constitution of USA when we adopted this concept, the separation of power. The division of power among different organs is known as separation of power, and because of this concept we have independent judiciary. Why? Because both these two organs, legislature and executive, they cannot interfere in the works of judiciary. They cannot affect the decision of judiciary, and in fact government can also not affect the decision of judiciary. The second is removal process. Yes, it is true that the Chief Justice and the other judges of Supreme Court and High Court are appointed by President. But once the judges are appointed, it is very difficult to remove them from their post. The process which is followed, the process which is used to remove the judges from their post is known as impeachment process, and this is not an easy process. And if government feels like if government wants to remove any particular judge, then it cannot remove it because of its conspiracy. The third is government cannot affect the decision of judiciary. The decisions are not affected by ministers and government, and the decisions taken by the Supreme Court are binding upon lower courts, not only on lower courts but to the government also. So that's why we can say in India we have independent judiciary. Now we will see the role of judiciary in India. As we know, courts take decisions on a very large number of cases. They can decide that no teacher can beat a student, or about the sharing of river water between states as Kaveri water, or they can punish people for particular crimes. Broadly speaking, the work that the judiciary does, or the role which is being played by judiciary, can be divided into the following. This can be termed as the power of judiciary also. The first is original jurisdiction. The second is appellate jurisdiction, and the third one is advisory jurisdiction. The first jurisdiction that come in original jurisdiction is dispute resolution. Second is judicial review, and the third one is upholding the law and enforcing fundamental rights. At first we will discuss about dispute resolution. The judicial system provides a mechanism for resolving disputes not only between citizens but between citizens and the government also, between two state governments, and between the center and state government also. This is the dispute resolution power of judiciary. When we discuss the judicial review, we can say judicial system or judiciary is also known as the final interpreter of the constitution. The judiciary also has the power to strike down particular laws passed by the parliament if it believes that these are a violation of the basic structure of the constitution. This is called judicial review. And the third one is upholding the law and enforcing fundamental rights, like under right to constitutional remedies, which is mentioned in Article 32. Every citizen of India can approach the Supreme Court or the High Court if they believe that their fundamental rights have been violated. And if a person feels like his fundamental rights are being violated, then he can direct access to the Supreme Court. This is original jurisdiction. When we see the appellate jurisdiction is directly related to reconsideration of any reconsideration of any case. Three types of appellate jurisdiction can be made in Supreme Court. Firstly, there can be an appeal against any decision or order of a High Court. If the High Court gives a certificate that it involves some question of the interpretation of the Constitution, then the person can appeal in the Supreme Court. Secondly, there can be appeal against civil cases decided by a High Court if the High Court gives a certificate that the case involves a question of law. And the third thing, in respect of the criminal cases too, there can be appeal to the Supreme Court if a High Court has on appeal reversed an order of acquittal and an accused person and sentenced him to death, or if by withdrawing a case from the lower court to itself, it has sentenced a person to death, one can go for an appeal to the Supreme Court. Finally, the Supreme Court also can allow any decision by a lower court to come in. The Supreme Court can review any judgment given by itself, and it is also given the power under our constitution to transfer a case that is being decided in any court and bring it to itself if it feels that any important question of law is involved in it. What is appellate jurisdiction? Like a person appealed in High Court at first. A appealed High Court at first, but A is not satisfied with the verdict of High Court. Then A can appeal in Supreme Court against the decision of High Court. This is known as appellate jurisdiction, but appellate jurisdiction can be made at the time of violation of fundamental rights, and if a person is given sentence to death, and if any important question of law is involved in that particular case, then at that time people can access to the Supreme Court against the decision of lower court, whether it is subordinate courts or district courts and high court also. Now we will see the third power of judiciary, that is advisory jurisdiction. The Supreme Court has also an advisory jurisdiction. How? Supreme Court is the apex court in the country. It is the highest court in the country. The Supreme Court can be consulted by the President on certain issues. If the President feels that an important legal question or fact of public importance has come or is expected to come up in some court, then he can ask the Supreme Court for its advice. But now it's the power of President. It totally depends on President whether he is willing to accept that advice or not. The Supreme Court in such cases would consider it and gives its opinion to the President. A decision given by the Supreme Court has to be enforced by government authorities in all over India, and the Supreme Court has the power to protect the right to constitutional remedies also. In our next video we will discuss about the right to constitutional remedies. Under this right, if a citizen feels that his fundamental rights have been taken away, have been violated, then one can go straight to the Supreme Court. Under advisory jurisdiction, the first is it can be consulted by the President on certain issues, like at the time of pardoning any person, any convicted person from sentence to death, and at the time of making any treaties, he can consult the judges of the Supreme Court, the Chief Justice of the Supreme Court also, whether the decisions are taken on the basis of laws and constitution and not. But decisions are not binding on President. It also acts as the guardian of democracy. Now we will see the other work of judiciary, that is court of record. The Supreme Court is a court of record, and all the decisions and proceedings of the Supreme Court are kept as records and are quoted as precedents in courts. The court can punish for its own contempt if anyone does not abide by its decisions. Court of record, all the decisions are kept as records, and the second is the court can punish for its own contempt.